So languages tend to follow similar syntax, or in the case of logic and tools used in the program. And we can see kind of a little overview here. We've got as JavaScript, you can think of them as Python, Lua, PHP, C Sharp, C++, but there is a couple of top ones that we like to work with here. Most of the time, JavaScript, PHP, and Python. All different base uses, by the way. Very useful in 3K scenarios. Python, normally, I like to use it for any sort of computer control. Creating scripts, processing, let's say, Excel spreadsheets, uh, doing math within those Excel spreadsheets, and a lot of data on analytics. So for a game dev, you may be looking at Unity or Unreal or Godot, or some might say Godot, which honestly I've said that for a while in the beginning too. Godot. So that would be a case for using Unity as C Sharp, Unreal I believe is C++, and Godot basically has C++ and has multiple support, so no particular language that it focuses on. There's also GD scripts, I suppose. That's a personal version. GD scripts. Those are the places you can start within that bracket of information. But if you, let's say, want to be a data analyst, you're kind of going to a different set of languages that you might want to work with. Some of them are Python. This can manage files. You can organize specific types of, well, you can basically manage any file system file, spreadsheets, documents, PDF files, whatever. R programming, specifically for data handling. So this actual programming language was optimized to parse information. And not only can you optimize with R programming, but if you have a MV2 drive, kind of a solid state, right? Solid state drive, you can optimize the amount of processing you can do on one of those languages because file handling can be quite burdensome on the file system. You may use a special piece of hardware to basically optimize all the parsing you will be doing, all the data, reading, writing, multiplying, etc. Right? Processing. For web development, you look at languages like PHP, JavaScript, where we are at. You can also use Python, Django specifically, a Django server. But I wouldn't, personally, I haven't really used Django to be specific in it. So it's not something I would recommend, at least in the fact that PHP basically serves that case scenario. So we normally like to stick with PHP for the server side, JavaScript for the client side, keywords to know as a developer, which we'll look into in the future. Also questions that can be asked if anyone needs to know specifically what makes them different. And then Python kind of basically works as a server side. So again, you only need one language on the server side. You don't need too many to basically uh, create your own server-based project. Apps, well, we can think of a lot of app types. Mobile apps, web apps, local applications on a system. I think most software nowadays, when we say software development, it's basically in reference to just being an app development because, well, Windows has a store now. Mac has had a store for a while. And what we would normally use as a installer has now kind of transferred or translated itself as a app store installation, which is a good thing. A lot of applications on those app stores tend to be pretty safe, right? Pretty straightforward and safe for anyone to access. And because the internet can be quite a, uh, well, free for all, You never want to install anything you're not completely sure of, right? Anything considered an exe can become a exploit to your system. So we don't necessarily like to install a lot of things on the internet unless we know them, we've tested them, we've maybe used them for ages, and we try to keep things pretty simplified. So app stores, Microsoft stores, all of those types of services, they are pretty good in keeping us safe. Well, most apps on a computer, you're looking at C++, Java, and of course C Sharp. We'll throw it in there. Most applications that you may want to work with. For Java, of course, you can expand even into the Android spaces with Android Studio, but you can create local Java applications on a PC computer as well. Or if you're the hobbyist on, let's say, Minecraft, SourceForge, all of those types of scripting or, well, modded systems or modded Minecraft systems, you would use Java or you would have to learn Java in order to be able to create your own mods to a Minecraft system. And finally, drivers, well, that's still very similar, but we'd probably go with C++, maybe C Sharp, I guess, for Microsoft based drivers. And the most important one that no one really knows anymore, assembly. This is probably the most powerful language in the world. Also the most difficult language in the world. And preparations into college, calculus, physics. I love science, so we can talk science all the time too. Um, and yeah, you can find me on Patreon. You can subscribe and like and follow, depending on where you are, for more of these enlightening informational videos. And feel free to join me anytime I have my sessions. You can get to see the cat once in a while, Mr. Shadow over here. And you can come and chill, ask questions, and enlighten your thoughts, enlighten your logic, get them brain cells working, and learn new skills, real life skills. We can all play games all day, but what do we get from those? Not much. Make sure to like and subscribe. I've got more and more on a daily basis. I'm gonna try to do every day. Generally speaking, I might not be able to because I do have students I have to tend to. You can find me again, Patreon. You can find on Super Scholar Chris MIA. You can look up on Google or Bing or Yahoo, Christoph Tutoring or Christoph with Chris MIA. Also follow me on X if you are on X. You can basically find most of my links here at the bottom. This little thing over here, flipping around down there. That's a little JavaScript animated space I've created. So it informs me of what I do. You can find me right there on Patreon. Is that the one? Yeah, or Super Scholar. Actually, that'll take you directly to my Patreon too. So Super Scholar to XYZ. I did have. Anyway, thanks for joining.